Okay, welcome to our tutorial for creating a WordPress blog for your personal brand. There are a few things that you're going to need in order to get started, so here is our checklist. You're going to need your brand email account. I really recommend that you sign up through Gmail for that, and then have your name and some part of your sustainable interest in it. Then you're going to need your website title and your subtitle. I would have some kind of a combination of your name and your sustainable interest in there. Then you're going to need a photo of yourself for your headshot. So this should be the one, if you're in my class, that we have approved already, and that is going to be used across your multiple social media sites. It should be a nice clear depiction of you and who you are. You're going to need some kind of a hero image. That's a suggested size. It doesn't have to be like that. Now, every blog theme is going to be a little bit different, but the one that we're going to work with today is called 2017, which we'll get to in a moment. But that hero image will help make your site look prettier, and most of the blogs that you are going to be looking at creating, they'll be enhanced if you have some kind of a hero image that will make your site look nice and pretty. You're going to need your About Me statement. This should show your value and what you're talking about. So it can have, it can be a little bit shorter now, but as you go through the process of creating your brand, you're going to want to develop that even further. So your About Me statement should, again, introduce yourself, speak directly to your audience, and give a little bit of your professional background, and then the value that you're adding to people as well. You're going to create an About Me page for that About Me statement. You're also going to need links to your social media accounts or other resources that you're wanting to link to from your blog. Again, those can be added later, but your social media accounts you're probably going to need right now. Usually those will look like whatever platform you're on. So it's like Instagram.com/your handle, Facebook.com/your URL if you've updated it. And so on and so forth. Then you're going to need creativity and patience. A lot of playing with WordPress is trial and error. So you might need to, this could take a couple hours for you. We're going to do it pretty quickly here. So you can go back and review parts of the video if you need help. But the more time you spend on this, the better your site will look and the more reflective of you, your value, and your personality. So let's get started. The first thing that you're going to want to do is go to wordpress.com, and you're going to hit Get Started. From there, you want to sign up using your brand email account. Okay, so we're going to sign up with our brand email account. You can pick a username that relates to your email, or you can use it as your name. I have to use my username with a brand email account because I've made so many of these websites that I now need to do that. So put in a password, and create your account. Here under Choose a Domain, you can put your name, or if your name is not available or you want to incorporate your sustainable interest, then you can add a little bit of that. I would really recommend just using your name, because then if you ever change what your sustainable interest is, you're able to still retain your website, your followers, all of that, and then you can just change the topic. So by choosing your name, you have more flexibility. However, if you need to add a little bit of your sustainable interest, you can do that. You can also change that down the road. So I'm just going to keep it simple here. We're going to search for it, andrewthehiker.blog. So WordPress is going to try to get you to buy something the entire step of the process. You do not need to do that. If you do choose to buy your URL, I do recommend using WordPress if you're going to be building your website on WordPress, because then you don't have to map your domain, which is a little bit more complicated. But if we want to keep things free, which we're going to do in this tutorial, then we are going to just keep it with the WordPress.com in there. That's the free option. We're selecting that one. Now, again, they're going to try to make you buy things, so we don't need to do that. I do pay now for a premium. It's up to you. If you want to pay for it, it makes it a little bit more professional. You don't have to have the WordPress.com in it. You have a little bit more freedom with your flexibility and options. But for this course, it's absolutely not required. And we are going to, in this tutorial, keep everything totally free. So we're just going to still go with start with free. What are your goals? You can, I think, skip to the dashboard. You don't need to do this. So we are going to skip. Let's get ready to launch. Write your first post, edit your site design. We're going to launch your site. Congrats, your site is now live. We're just going to close this. Again, they're trying to get you to buy something, so just go ahead and exit out of that. Then on the left, this is called your dashboard. So on the left-hand side, go to Appearance and then go to Themes. And here we can search for the theme that we want to use, which in this case is going to be called 2017. There's all kinds of different options for you here, so you're allowed to use whatever you would like. I do have a few recommendations of how to search for a theme. I would suggest that you filter it by blog, and then you also click over here in the free section so that you aren't paying for things. I have a few recommendations for you. 2023 is a good theme to use. The 2022 theme is also good. I think that Russell, let's see if we can find Russell. There's 2022. There's one called Russell that looked pretty useful. We'll see if it comes up here. Let's see, let's just search for it right here. There it is. This looks nice and clean as well. The reason that I like these themes is because they look like they're easy to work with. A few of the elements that we're going to need are already there. We're going to need to link to our social icons. We want a contact page. You want a subscribe page. And so it looks like it already has a lot of those things that we want. This one has that about section. So this wouldn't be a bad one to use. However, the one that we are going to use in this, I really like because I think it's very pretty. Okay, so the theme that I think that we should use is actually called 2017. Let's go ahead and search for that. So let's take a look at this one. Some of the reasons that I like it is that it already has a lot of those elements that we're going to use to set up our personal brand blog website. It looks really pretty. It's got nice imagery on it. I would like visiting this site if I went, and it has, a space for social icons, a contact section. There's this about section. This looks like we could customize it pretty easily and have all of those pieces that we want. The main things that we're going to look for is a home page, a blog page, and an about page. I would recommend adding a contact page as well, but I will leave that to your discretion. So if you haven't already activated a theme, then you click activate this design, or you might need to be changing from a different theme that came with whatever you chose, but I'd really recommend going with 2017. So let's activate this design. It is a free design. It says congrats on your new theme. So we are going to go ahead and customize this design. Now, this will take us step by step through updating everything that we want. So it's gonna take a little bit of finagling, but it's a pretty straightforward process, just takes some time. So here, let's start with you are customizing untitled. So let's click on the site identity. And here we can choose that logo, and we can choose the site title and the tagline. So earlier when we talked about how we need a title and a subtitle, this is where it is. So I want my site to be called Angie Hikes. And my tagline is, so it says, Angie Hikes, come explore Reno Tahoe with me as we hike the Sierra Nevadas together. So very clear, right? This is a hiking website. We're gonna be focused on Reno Tahoe. We're talking about the Sierra Nevadas. So we can always change this later if our brand develops and we expand a little bit more, but if you're starting out with something that's a little more niche, that's totally fine. So we do want the site to display the site title and tagline. If we undid that, then it doesn't show up. So it's kind of nice because it shows you all the changes that you're making in real time. The site icon, we talked about this earlier too, so we want an image that is 512 by 512 pixels, so we can say select the site icon. This is our media library. Anything that you upload to your site is going to be saved to this media library, so every post that you do eventually will need a featured image. Those will also go here, but the nice thing about your media library is once you upload something, it'll live there forever for you to be able to use. All right, so it doesn't look like we have something that I want here, so we're gonna do upload file. And then I have this nifty little folder. So hiking brand website, I've got my headshot. I have a few images that I can use for blog posts and for my hero. And then I created this site identity little image. Now I used Canva. I'll have a different video that explains how to create different images on Canva if that's something you want to use. But it's really simple. AH for Angie Hikes, or because we're going hiking. So let's drop that in. I'd encourage you to use the alt text on every image that you use on your site. It will make it more accessible to those who are not able to see, so anyone who's using a screen reader, and it will help you with your search engine optimization. So here I'm going to describe this image as if to a person who's not able to see it. So it has the letters written in bold and a background of pine trees near the ocean. Okay, we're going to select that one and select. Great. Okay, now you can see in the top it's going to be right there. Cool, this is looking very good. And let's hit save changes up at the top. So now we have our site identity. We're gonna go back here. Then we're gonna look, actually we're gonna skip to the header media. So that's gonna control this section right here. You can control it by using this, or you can edit it over here using, in the top right-hand corner, this photo image. But we'll go to the header media. Now, this is really cool. With this theme, you could go and create a video that you want that maybe shows you doing what your brand is, shows you helping somebody, interacting, just using B-roll footage. You could upload it to YouTube, and then you can use it as a YouTube URL. So then this will be a movie that is playing in the background of your site, which could be really neat. Since we don't have that, we are actually just going to use a different image. So they already have uploaded a few suggested images that you could use for your site, but you can also choose to add a new image. Now it looks like we uploaded that a few times, which was an accident, but we're going to upload a new image. So now we're going back to our folder, and I have this photo of Monkey Rock that I took. Let me pull it onto the screen. I think that looks really nice and compelling, and kind of shows the outdoors. So I am going to upload that by dragging and dropping it. We're going to describe it. Lake Tahoe as seen from the top of the Monkey Rock hike. And we're going to select it and crop it. So it's a little too large for the area. So now we can crop it. So we just dragged that area, and now there we go. Now we've got our nice custom photo, and it has that nice effect right there. Cool. And now that we have our header media, we're gonna hit save changes. Okay, going back here, this is really cool and convenient. So menus on our site. This right now is just a one-page site. It's our home page here. Looks like we've got our media, our title, and it has social icons, though I will show you how to edit that and change it. But we need a couple of pages, and it's really neat with this particular theme because you can add your pages from this menu. So this, I think originally, let's see, I had played around with it, so it already has some things. So let me clean this up. Going back into our menus, this is where you can create menus and you can add pages directly from here. So let's create a new menu. So let's call this Explore. And we're going to add items to it now. So we're going to add some pages. We have our home page already. Let's add some new pages. We want an About page, and we want a blog page. Great. So as you can see on the right-hand side, as we're doing that, it's creating those pages right over here that are linked in our menu called Explore. Let's add one more called Contact. Excellent. All right. Now, this is looking really good. It looks like how we want it to look. We could reorder these if we want. We can drag and drop them. So maybe we want about after the blogs. You can nest the menu. This is called nesting when it's underneath a different page rather than by itself. So we want all of those on their own level. Cool, that looks great. Blogs, contact, and about. And this is our home page. Our home page is going to have a feed of all of our posts. So let's save changes there. Okay, going back, let's continue on. So let's go to our content options. Now this is letting us choose our home page. Our home page has a full post or an excerpt of the blog and archive pages. I would suggest that instead of having your whole post on that page, that you do a post excerpt, and then you that way you kind of have a feed of it and you encourage people to go and click into the blog itself instead of having all of that on your home page. So it's up to you. You could do full post, but I would suggest that you do the post excerpt. And then this all looks fine. I want all of those details to make it as easy as possible for people. So we're going to hit Save Changes and we're going to go back. Let's put some widgets in here. So we have 3 different areas within this theme that we're allowed to add widgets to this page. So the blog sidebar is going to be right over here. And then our footer area, there are 2 different footer areas. They're a little hard to tell right now, but as we put them in, you'll see. So let's add first our footer. Now for our site, he was telling us that it uses blocks to customize things. You can add a block here, you can add a block here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add, let's see, we already have social icons on the right-hand side here. So let's do a search. There we go. We added a search widget and it came here in our footer section. You can customize the text here over here. So if I wanted to change this, explore the site. And then you could say, what's on your mind? You can choose whatever you want for all of this. You can totally customize the search widget for yourself, or you can just leave it as search because that's a nice, easy thing and people are used to it. So however you want to customize that, you can customize right there. Now let's save changes and let's go into our footer area too. Now we also need a subscribe option. They make it very easy for you. You can just put subscribe right there, and now on the right hand side, people can subscribe to your blog. So again, you can change this. You can tell them, you know, how often they'll get things. You could do all kinds of customization options there. So that's looking good. Now, I think that instead of having the social icons on this right-hand side, I'd like them to be in our footer area. So I'm going to add another widget here, and we can search for it. Let's search for social, and we can do social icons. That way they're all going to be together. I would like it above the search. You can put it wherever you want, but by dragging it here, you're choosing where to place it. And again, if you wanted to, you can just reorder by dragging and dropping. You grab it right there, and then you can reorder it in your list. Now, the social icons is there, but it doesn't have anything. We need to tell it what social icons we want it to display. So we're going to do the plus sign, and then we're going to pick which to include. To add another social icon, you hit this social icon again, and then you hit this add a block again, and you choose whichever sites you want to add. Now, we're almost there, but we need to tell it where to point to. So this is where you click on the icon of that social icon. So you click on the Twitter icon, and we're gonna write in our URL. This is why it was important to customize those earlier so that it makes it a little bit easier to add in. Once you're done typing, you want to hit that return button to make sure that it customizes. It is updated. Perfect. Those look great. So one other item that we want to do, we're going to save changes. And it'll be nice to have our kind of archives here for other people to easily access. So maybe they know that they loved a post that we did a couple months ago. How can they find that? So we're going to type in archives, and we're actually going to put it under the subscribe. Now, that's okay. It doesn't have anything to show now, but as we add new posts, they will appear over here. So that'll be nice to have later on. So we're going to have that archives. So now we're saving those changes. And the last place that we want to update is over here on our right-hand side. So let's go to our blog sidebar. We can see that the social icons are already there. We don't really like that, so we're actually going to hit the options button and we're going to delete. And we can keep going, delete all those. Perfect. So now we've got our posts and we have all of the customization that we did here, but now we still have this space available to us. So let's go ahead and add something over there. Now we're going to add, what's missing from our homepage is a photo of ourselves. So we're going to add something called the Gravatar widget. So the way that you can find it, you can write in profile, and then it has Gravatar profile, or you can search for Gravatar. Now mine has already been set up, so it'll probably auto-populate with some info, but if you haven't, then you can go sign up for a Gravatar. You would just hit edit your profile. I'm gonna open that in a new link. And then you can access that under users and add new, you can go to my profile, you can add your info in here. But I'm going to type in select, oops, here we go, I gotta go back, Gravatar profile. Oh, here it is. So what's really convenient is custom email address. So I can do custom, and I've already signed up for one on a previous account. So once I see that, then it automatically populates the info that I had. So if I needed to change this, I certainly could, but when you set up your Gravatar, it has all of those areas for you. So you set up a headshot, you put your title in, and then it has a quick who you are, and then view full profile. Now, if we wanted to create a new one for ourselves, we can say Angie Rudolph, oops. Okay, so you can see the title is up there, and then you need to go to edit your profile. So again, this is where the users are. We're gonna do my profile, and oh, we need to verify the email. So let's verify our email real quick. So now we verified our email, so we're gonna go ahead and click edit your profile again. And go to my profile. We're gonna click to change the photo, and we can upload our headshot that we got approved. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So we got this brand profile approved, so we're gonna use that, and then we're gonna say first name, last name, public display name. This is where you can kind of change it up, make it look nice. Great. Then you can say save profile details. Now, we should be able to save changes. And we're going to go back. We're going to hit this refresh button. We're still in the customizer. We're going to go back to our widgets, back to our blog sidebar. And we're going to try to edit this. Angie Hikes. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like you might run into this as well, setting up your Gravatar. So you might have to go to gravatar.com and you sign in with wordpress.com. Would you like to log into Gravatar using your WordPress? We're going to approve it. Good, perfect. Okay. This looks good. So let's see if when we go back to our site, this will somehow magically update for us. Yep, okay, now that we've refreshed and we've logged in to our Gravatar, now we've got this, and then it says view full profile. So that's looking a lot better. So again, we were in the widgets, we were in the blog sidebar, and we have this. Perfect, okay. Now, our homepage looks pretty darn good. We have our subscribe, we have our archives set up so that when we have archives, they'll be there. We decided that we're just going to do a preview of a blog, not the entire thing, so it'll just link to that blog post. We have our Gravatar with our image on it and our name. We have our site title, our subtitle, and we have 3 pages set up. We also have our social icons all customized, and we have our search button. So now we can get out of this customizer. So again, if you ever need to change that, you can go to appearance and then customize, and it'll take you right back where we were. But now we are ready to move on and update our pages. So in your dashboard on the left-hand side, you're going to go down to the pages. You can look at all of your pages. While we were working on our home page, we set up a few other pages that now we can customize. So let's get into our blogs page. Every page here is going to be using the same theme. So if you preview this page, we can preview it in a new tab. It's going to have all of those items. It just doesn't have the same info in the middle. So we're using the same template across every page. So they'll have all of those different elements, but now we need the main items for the blog. And fortunately, it's pretty easy to do. So let's get back into our editor. So we have this. Now, we're going to use this plus button here. We could also use it here. This is called the toggle block inserter. So either way, that's what it's called. Let's use our toggle block inserter, either located right here or over here. And we are going to search for blogs. So it's really cool because they have small options, just blog posts, like very basic ones, or they have these things called templates. So you can also, patterns. So you can put an entire pattern on. Each of them are going to look different. So you can do full width post titles with dates, or you can do your blog post, the title, excerpt category, author name, all of that good stuff. I would definitely play with it, see what you like best, especially as the semester goes on, but you can go ahead and drag and drop. And now this will be our blog page once we create blogs. So we're going to hit update. It's not going to look too pretty yet, but I promise you when you start creating blog posts, this will look a lot better. So we've updated that page, and let's go back to our dashboard and let's edit our about page. Here for the About page, we're going to use our toggle block inserter again, and we're going to type in About because they have nifty little patterns that you can use to customize your About page. So I would suggest, again, playing around, seeing which one you like. This one's nice because I do want you to have a photo of yourself on your About page. And then this gives nice content where you can just type in, add lots of paragraphs, lots of info. You can add other elements, more photos. You could add, links to videos, and it already has the basics that you need. So right here, if you click on that image, let's replace it, and we're gonna actually select it because in our media library, we just did it for the Gravatar. So we're gonna select it, and then we're actually gonna hit Add New, and we're gonna use our headshot. So let's go ahead and do that. Now you can use your headshot on this, or you can upload a different image as long as it's a photo of you that appears on your About page. So it should have a clear vision of you so that people could recognize you. Then you can change all of the other info here. So you can customize this text. Okay, once you've completely filled in the information, you've updated these guys by typing in your URLs and updating those, then you can hit Update. And we'll go back to our dashboard. And then let's look at our site and see how it's coming along. That is looking absolutely beautiful. And I promise as we add more posts in here, this will look even better. So then we can click over to our blogs page. Again, that will have our blogs. We can click into our About. We've got our image in there as well. They add, because it is the WordPress.com site, they add ads in there. So you're always gonna have some goofy content just kind of popping in if you decided not to pay for your site. But this is looking really good. So all we need to do now is edit the contact, and then I will show you a couple of blog posts so you can see what it'll look like when you start to populate your blogs. Okay, so going back to our dashboard, we're going to go to our pages and all pages, and we are going to modify the contact page. So we're just going to click into the contact page, and here we can use our toggle block inserter located to the right or up at the top left-hand corner. We're going to look for a pattern for contact. So you can do contact info, contact form, and you can see all of the different choices that you have. I'm going to go with this nice simple one over here, drag it in, or just click it. And now it says contact us. So I don't really want it to say us because this is my personal brand website. It's just me. So I'm going to say contact me. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. Drop me a line below and I'll do my best to get back to you within 1 business day. Now, if you don't think that's feasible, you can obviously change this. I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to collaborate, please fill. There we go. I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to collaborate, please fill in the form below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And then contact us. We need to change that us to contact me. You might be able to change the text color, the background color of some of these items to fit your style and the theme of your website. So again, the more you play with things, the better it'll go. And once you're happy with it, you can update. And we'll do a preview of that page. Let's look at it on desktop. Preview in new tab. And there we go, contact me, perfect. All right, since it's looking good, let's check and make sure that we, in our dashboard, have done everything we need to for our pages. We already did our blogs, we did our contact. Let's check our about page. And we already have our about. Okay. Now that we have edited all of our pages, the contact page, blogs page, and about page, so we've set ourselves up for success, let's go ahead and look at what it's like to do a blog post so that you can see what that will look like on your site. So in the next few assignments, you'll be starting to write your blog post, so you don't need to do this step. I just want to show you how to do this so that you'll be nice and prepared when you're ready. So you can go to posts and you can do add new. And then you can simply copy and paste if you've written it in a Word document, or you can type right into here. So I'm going to do an example post for you just so you can see how to do this. So as you're doing your blog posts, you want to make sure that your titles are going to reflect the content that you're going to have and that they are going to be helpful right from the get-go. You don't want to have like an introduction post where you're just saying, hi, this is my name, I'm going to be blogging. You want to jump right in with adding value to your readers. So try to think of things that are going to be especially useful, interesting to them, that will engage them, show your personality. It's a good place to start your foundation. And so just go ahead and try to think of things that people might need, things that people might have questions about. Lists are always really useful. It gives it a nice structure and it's really eye-catching. So try to be really engaging with your content. So obviously this is just an example. You would need to really think about your content a lot more than this. You need to expand on these things, but I just want to show you what it looks like. So you've got your title there, and then you have your content as you're going through. One thing with your post, you want to go over and you always want to add a featured image. So on the right-hand side under post, you go down to featured image and you do set featured image. Now here you can go to your media library, and if you already have a photo, that's great, but usually you're going to have to add a new one. There are a couple of really useful resources for stock imagery that you can use. It's called, two of them are called unsplash.com. So these are royalty-free images that you can use for your blogs. There's also Pexels. Pexels.com for royalty-free images as well. I'd encourage you to use your own imagery as much as you can. That way you don't have to give credit. If you do add images to your blog post, you'll need to give proper credit, but for now, I'm just going to go ahead and grab, and I actually in my folder have a couple of extra images that I can use. So let me pull one of those in. Here is one. Okay, there's me on a hike with my dog. I'm going to insert that as my featured image. You can see it on the right-hand side now. And then because I elected to not show the full post on my website, I always want to add underneath the featured image an excerpt. What is the post about? So what is going to be engaging? So you want to have like a brief synopsis that also is engaging your readers. And from there, another thing that is not absolutely required, but I would recommend it, is adding categories and tags to your posts. When you're first starting out, it's not going to make too big of a difference, but as you continue to blog, this can really help your readers find the content that is most interesting to them, find related posts to each other. So categories, I can add a new category. This could be hiking gear. And then the tag, I can do Sierra Nevadas. I can do hiking. You can add whatever tags that you want. Hiking gear. Maybe you're planning a whole series where you're talking about boots and different types of boots for different terrain, et cetera, et cetera. So whatever you think you're going to have, you can add tags to that. All right, so let's take a quick look. We'll do a preview in a new tab. So we have our featured image. It's going to always show up at the top of our post, and then you can see it there. You can see your category and tags, and then a place for people to leave comments. And it's really nice in this theme because you always have the same header and footer, so you'll always have all of those links that you need in your blog post automatically. So this is looking pretty good. Let's go back. And I thought I added it says uncategorized. So even I added the category. We're going to unclick uncategorized and we're going to say add new category. Good, now it's under hiking gear. So now when we preview it, we're going to go and refresh this page. At the bottom it didn't refresh. Let's take a look. Preview. And now it's categorized under hiking gear. Cool. So now that we're happy with it, the last step is that we're going to publish that post. And it makes you do a little double check. You then can hit publish right there. Your post was published. Excellent. Okay, let's go to our home page. So we're going to go back to our dashboard, view posts. And now let's click on this button right here at the top left-hand corner to view our website. Now our post automatically updated here. So you can see it's linked here, it's linked from the photo. You have not what you wrote in the post, but what you wrote in your excerpt. So that's how it's gonna show up there. So this looks beautiful. You're gonna hit blogs. And you can see with the blogs, this one doesn't show the photo. It's just going to show the list, which is totally fine. Again, if you don't like it, if you wanted to show the photo, you can go and edit the blogs page and use a different pattern there. But in a nutshell, we have our site all set up. Things are working well. We have our home page with our feed of our posts with images. We have all of the required elements that were outlined in our assignment. We have our different blog page, contact page, and about page set up, and our site is perfectly ready to go. So that concludes our training on how to build a WordPress blog site using the 2017 theme for personal branding.